that we have taken our freedoms and our liberty for granted for so long. We look at the trials in other nations, and we think that could never happen to us. We see people rioting in the streets and shooting each other and burning buildings and wrecking cars. We think that could never happen in America. But listen carefully. When people get needy enough and angry enough and armed enough, you don't know what they're going to do. And when I think about the fact that 23 million people in this country do not have a job, that means they're getting needy. And unless something happens, they're going to be more needy. And unless something happens, they're not just going to remain quietly needy. And when I think about the fact that if they look at the accounting of the debt of $16 trillion and realize that in just 4 years, that was increased by 5.4 trillion, what will happen in the next 4 years? And you think about your children, what kind of life are they going to have? A debt of 20 or 30, 40 trillion dollars? That's bankruptcy. And you think about all these young people who've gone to college and gotten a degree, spent a lot of money, their parents' money, now they can't even get a job. Kids who want to go to college can't afford to go to college. And you think about the kind of situations and circumstances people are living in. They don't have their home anymore. They don't have a job. They don't know why. If ever America needed to be prayed for and we needed clear guidance and direction, this is certainly the time for that. When you think about the fact that the people who lead us, the Congress, their rating of approval is 10%. You'd think you could do that with your hands tied behind you and your 10% approval. So you have to ask yourself the question, where's the leadership? What's going on in America that people can't get along, people who've been given the responsibility? And then I think one of the most thought-provoking things is this. Every time you and I go to the grocery store, we buy probably whatever we need. 1 out of every 7 Americans, think about this, in this wealthy nation of ours, 1 out of every 7 Americans is on food stamps. Millions and millions of people on food stamps. How long does that last? And what happens before long, you are living off the government. Well, let me remind you, the handouts will one day run out. And you will wish you'd have kept your job if you had one, or you tried harder, or you certainly do not want to lean upon the government to support you. God has given you an opportunity. And there are many people, for example, who want a job and would work hard and can't get one. But those are other people there who don't want one, so they figure this out. If you can't get a job, really don't want one, you can get the government to support you. And if the government will support you, you can just take it easy. You can take it easy until you lose your freedom. We are in a more dangerous situation because it's not warfare of people shooting at us. It's something more subtle than that. And it's affecting everybody to some degree. And when you look at the price of gasoline, you wonder, well, how much higher is that going? We would have thought we couldn't pay $5 a gallon for gasoline a long time ago. But who knows how far it's going. So when you look at all these things, and there are many other things we could talk about as far as that's concerned, but you have to ask yourself the question, somebody ought to be leading this country. That is, there ought to be wise leadership. Not just in one man. The president, of course, is responsible, but so is the Congress responsible. Why can't we agree to do the wisest thing, not what's the most politically acceptable? We've come a long ways from a sovereign, loving God who poured out his best when he created these United States. In those days, people honored him. And God has honored this nation down through the years. He's blessed us above every nation on earth. Why do so many people want to come and live here? Because it's a land of opportunity. Those opportunities are sort of getting treacherous in a way. It's when you cease to trust those in places of leadership, then you are in serious trouble. And I think that's where we are. When you think about looking abroad where we are, the other nations of the world don't respect us like they used to. They see us beginning to be weak. They see us sort of backing off. We find ourselves indebted to other nations. Can you imagine the foolishness of borrowing money from some nation to give it to another nation. I mean, I don't know of anything much more foolish than that. And I see this kind of thing going on and asking the question, who's in charge? What's going on? We have given billions and billions and billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars to other nations to make friends. They don't like us. You don't listen. You want to make friends. Don't make friends trying to buy them, because you can't buy friends. And so what do? Not only are they not our friends, they turn right around and fight against us. We turn right around and give them more, trying to buy them off. It's foolish. Somebody is not thinking. And besides, none of us would allow that in our own home. For example, if you got your paycheck on Friday and you and your wife sat down and talked about how you were going to spend it, then you came home the next Friday and you say, well, what do we have left over? Left over? Don't have anything left over. And you said, well, give me an account. Give you an account? Well, I just sort of enjoyed myself all week. If you'll think about this, and even the politicians will agree to this and admit this, nobody has an accounting. You think of all the places we send money by the billions, nobody can show you an account of where that money goes. And they will admit that. And where do these billions come from? They come from your pocket. You worked 40 hours a week or 50 or 60 hours a week, and you did your best. You gave it your all. You took care of your family, paid your bills, paid your rent, your mortgage, and your gasoline. And so what, they take our money and give it away to somebody who doesn't care anything about us, and who are trying to destroy us, who are committed to destroy us, and we are trying to make friends. You ask yourself, are you still in the 3rd grade and not in Congress? I mean, where are you? What are you thinking? And